Hey everybody, this is Cypher here, and today I'm going to go over the Monk Brewmaster abilities. So, Brewmaster is the tank spec for the Monk. They're typically going to be using two-handed staffs or polearms. They also use energy and chi, just like the DPS. Now you'll notice from right off the bat that you get an additional stance as a Brewmaster. It's called Stance of the Sturdy Ox. It reduces the damage you take by 20%, the chance to be critically hit by 6%, and increases your chance to staggered damage by 25%. Staggered damage is a new mechanic. What it does is it takes any attack you get, it takes 50% of it, gives it to you all at once, and the other 50% in the form of a dot over the next 9 seconds. And the dot is the part that's going to get affected by your other various abilities, which I'll get into. Alright, so to start off, we're going to start with an AoE attack that Brewmasters have called Breath of Fire. It does AoE damage in front of you in a 40-yard range, and it is affected by the debuff Dizzying Haze. I'll show you what it hits for without the debuff. So, should hit both of them about 5300 at level 86. And it increases with Dizzying Haze on the target, and that's the next ability I'm going to get into. Now what this ability does is it's an AoE targeted ability, so you got to actually land it on something, and it reduces the movement speed of the target by 15%. In addition, it makes them misfire by 3%, and it stacks 3 times, and that's for both of those statistics. What misfiring is when a mob tries to hit you, they will miss, and in fact they will hit themselves. So the target dummy isn't going to hit me, but I'll put the debuff on. That's once, twice. You can see that it's at 30 and 6% now. And then one more time, 45 and 9%. And if I use Breath of Fire, it's quite a bit harder. As you can see, it's like 4 times as hard. So, something to keep in mind. Alright, next ability is Avert Harm. This is similar to the Paladin Raid Wall ability. It's a 20% damage reduction for the raid, and it will also redirect all damage to you until you are at or below 10% of your own HP. So it'll stop then, and it's on a 1-minute cooldown. The next ability is Elusive Brew. It's just basically a dodge ability, 45-second cooldown, increases your dodge chance by 50%. Third ability, it doesn't have a cooldown. It has a 2 chi requirement, and it has, I believe, some sort of cooldown. It just doesn't show on here because you can't use it back to back. But I believe this is going to be a big part of your rotation when you're tanking. It's basically a self-bubble. And in addition to being a self-bubble, it increases the healing you do to yourself. So that orb heals for 12k without it. Gonna use it. Oh, I need chi to use it. Okay. Put another one down. It's gonna give me an absorb shield for 37,000, and it healed for 17k instead of 12k. So pretty decent spell. Alright. Next ability is Shuffle. Now this is a channeled ability. It costs 2 chi, and what it does is the next 3 melee attacks will be staggered. So once again, that's 50% of the damage up front, the other 50 in the form of a dot. And you might be wondering, you're taking all the damage anyway, why do I want it in the form of a dot? Well, that'll get to the next ability. I'll just show this just so you can see it. Not that I'm getting hit right now. Okay, now the next ability, Purifying Brew, 45-second cooldown. This will instantly remove all your stagger damage. So you use Shuffle from a boss's big attack. He hits you, you get a big dot. Purifying Brew, dot gone. Pretty simple mechanic. A little bit more complex than normal, which is kind of nice to see in WoW. So, great to work together to get with those 2 abilities. Alright. And the next ability is going to be the Brewmaster statue, which every spec gets one, and they actually updated them yesterday. So it actually looks like the correct thing, which is a bull. although the icon looks like a cow. This is the Black Ox statue. A lot better looking than the last time you saw a statue. Now this has a few mechanics. One of the mechanics it has is if you click it, it gives you that guard ability, basically, a shield. And right now it's doing it no matter how you click it, if it's a left click or right click. So if I left click it, it's going to give me that guard ability. And it also increases the healing. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's just supposed to be a shield. It's got 10 charges. And at the moment, you can actually click it as well as use guard. So you have double absorb. I'm not sure if that's a bug or not, but that's what you can do at the moment. Another one of its abilities is if it's, say, way over there, and I'm over here, and the healers in range are stacked up over there, if I use my taunt on the statue, it will AoE taunt around the statue, which is pretty big because that would be a pretty short cooldown AoE taunt. And then it has one other ability that's actually an additional ability. It's called Leer of the Onyx. What Leer of the Onyx does is, if you target an NPC and you use Leer of the Onyx, it is going to tell it's basically a taunt for the statue. You're telling the NPC, hey, go attack the statue. And the statue has about half your HP, so it's got a pretty good chunk of HP to hit. So if you're getting low, Leer of the Onyx on that thing, and it'll give you some time to catch up. Alright. So now for the last ability that they have, it's called Keg Smash. Costs 1 chi, and it basically works as a cleave. It hits 2 other targets near the main target, and it hits pretty hard. And in addition to hitting them, it also puts a debuff on them that their next attack within 8 seconds is going to misfire, and it's going to damage themselves for 5,000. Now some of these aren't very good to see on target dummies, so I'll soon be posting a Temple of the Jade Serpent run on Brewmaster Monk, so you can see it in action. But I'll just use it right here. Hits pretty decently hard for level 86 ability. That's also AoE, and it has an 8-second cooldown. And the final thing that we're going to look at is the Mastery. So what the Mastery is, it's called Elusive Brawler. It's going to reduce the stagger damage you take, and it's also going to increase the effectiveness of your guard, which I also believe is going to increase the effectiveness of the Ox's clickable guard ability. And yeah, and your stagger damage won't be as much. It won't actually be 50% because for as much mastery you have, the more it'll go down in damage. So that's it for the Brewmaster's abilities. Subscribe and like if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys around.